When I signed my first job offer in management consulting out of college, I was ecstatic. I posted on Facebook, I called my parents, and I started looking at apartments in New York City before promptly realizing I can never afford one. However, as the job start date got closer, I got more and more nervous. This was my first full-time job, and I've heard horror stories of how fresh grads made embarrassing mistakes in their first 2 years that resulted in bad reputations. For consulting, a bad rep might mean you never get staffed on projects. For organizations with flatter structures, like for tech companies, that might mean you never get to drive any of your initiatives because no one's willing to work with you. In this video, I'm going to share 3 common mistakes I see young professionals making across industries that, number 1, affect their ability to perform on the job in the short term, and number 2, negatively impact their professional growth in the long run. So let's get started. Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jeff, and we're all about practical career and interview tips. So if you're a current student and young professional, consider subscribing for more actionable content. This video is primarily about the common mistakes my peers and I made back in our management consulting days, but also includes my current observations of fresh graduates now that have a few more years of experience under my belt. Mistake number 1, diving into the work without first fully understanding the objective. The reason this happens is very simple. As professionals who are new to the workforce, we're afraid of asking seemingly stupid questions in front of our more experienced peers. We're also very excited about starting work, right? So when that first project comes, you're just itching to get started, and so you dive in to prove your worth. But as you can imagine, if you don't fully understand why you're doing this project, it is very likely that your end deliverable is going to be missing some key elements your manager wanted to see in the first place. Of course, the solution seems obvious. I think we would all agree that spending 15 to 20 extra minutes clarifying your understanding is a lot more efficient than wasting hours, if not days, working on something that you misinterpreted in the first place. But it comes back to that mental barrier of perceived embarrassment. What if they think I'm stupid? Here's a trick. Next time you're in this situation, phrase your question in a way that confirms your understanding rather than asking an open question outright. For example, instead of saying, "Sorry, I didn't understand that at all. Could you repeat everything you just said?" Say something along the lines of, "Excuse me, just to confirm my understanding of the action items are correct, may I assume that we're looking to achieve 1, 2, and 3, or was I way off the mark there?" As you can see, this phrasing allows the other party to clarify their message without losing face for either one of you. To be very honest though, after all these years, I found very rarely do asking questions reflect badly on you. What will definitely cause an issue though is spending a lot of time and ending up with a deliverable that no one asked for. Case in point, recently I was in a large team meeting where there was an acronym on a slide and I didn't know what it meant. After messaging a few of my colleagues over chat, I realized that none of them knew what it stood for either. I was a bit nervous since it was a large meeting, but I unmuted myself and said, "Excuse me, Senior Director, may I confirm that by ABC acronym on slide 3, you are referencing the ABC team? Or is there another team that goes by the same name?" The presenter, who is very senior, laughed and commented how she should get out of the bad habit of using acronyms on slides and clarified the correct team she was referring to. What I found to be pretty funny afterwards was how some of the other team members messaged me and thanked me for asking the question because they were all pretty confused as well. Bear in mind that had none of us verified which team that acronym actually stood for, we could have easily followed up with the wrong team, and that would have been way more embarrassing. By the way, I know the content of this video is slightly different from what I've been posting so far on the channel, so please do let me know down in the comments below if this is something you'd like to see more of. Mistake number 2, not taking ownership of your work. A common misconception many young graduates have is that the scope of work given to you is the only part of the overall project that you need to care about. While that's not technically wrong, since you should definitely deliver on the task allocated to you, the main value add you have as an employee, the main reason you were hired, is in part because of your ability to think critically. How does this smaller part that I'm responsible for play into the larger picture? And is there a better way to achieve that goal? Think about it this way. Most, and about all the time, your supervisor or project lead will have this overall vision of what they like to achieve. And they'll communicate that to the team, either verbally or by sketching it out on pen and paper. And because they're further away from the nitty-gritty executional details, it is inevitable that they will leave out some of the smaller aspects of the plan. So if you take what they say at face value and execute on that only, the end result won't be what they had in mind. The way to resolve this is to really digest and internalize what that overall objective is and link the work you're responsible for to that broader goal. For example, let's say you're a sales account manager responsible for a portfolio of clients. You're having a difficult quarter, revenue is down, and so your manager asks you to analyze the export vertical to see if there are any opportunities you haven't explored yet. A seasoned account manager will read between the lines and come up with a recovery plan by not only analyzing the export vertical, but also the domestic market as well. He or she does this because they realize the objective wasn't to analyze a specific part of the business, but to find a way to increase revenue. And in order to do that, they need to break down all potential revenue streams instead of just the one their manager mentioned. If you're worried the extra work may actually not be what your supervisor is looking for, simply make a copy of the bare minimum work that you're told to do, make adjustments to that copy based on your understanding, and present both versions, thus showing your proactive nature. If you're enjoying the video so far, a like and subscribe to the channel would be amazing. Mistake number 3, not taking the lead on finding opportunities for personal development. Let's be very clear up front. It's not the company's responsibility to handhold you through your personal growth journey. Yet this seems to be the expectation of many young graduates. Yes, companies are going to invest in you and train you for the job you were hired to do, but it is 100% up to you to actively pursue opportunities that will further your personal development. And in my opinion, these opportunities are everywhere, especially in large corporations. I remember back in my first year of management consulting, a project lead told us about this internal website with free courses on how to make professional slides and spreadsheets. And what surprised me was when a peer of mine told me she wasn't gonna take it because it wasn't mandatory. And I was just there thinking, man, a comparable course on Udemy is like $10. Guess who's watching this free video tonight? All jokes aside, companies offer these amazing opportunities, but at the end of the day, it is up to us to reach out and take it. Another amazing resource that most fresh graduates seem to forget is their more experienced non-manager colleagues who can act as career coaches and mentors. I'm extremely fortunate to have found such mentors in my professional career. One of them, his name is David, he works here at Google. He's a lot more senior than I am, very experienced, and yet he takes time out of his busy schedule to chat with me about life and work. And he does this not because of any structured mentorship program within the company, but because I was one of the first to ask him for his time 4 years ago. And I'm also convinced that he likes me because I'm one of the few people that laugh at his really bad pun jokes, but that's besides the point. He has walked that professional path a lot longer than I have, and is therefore able to offer actionable insights that help me avoid making mistakes. And I can't thank him enough. To summarize the 3 points I highlighted in this video, number 1, fully clarify the objective before starting work. Number 2, take ownership by thinking how your work fits into the larger picture. And number 3, actively pursue opportunities for your own personal development. I have made all 3 types of mistakes in some shape or form throughout my professional journey, so I do hope that these learnings help you avoid some potentially embarrassing experiences. The benefits of avoiding these professional blunders are many. People will say good things about you even when you're not around because your reputation precedes you, and you might even experience an accelerated career path because you're able to avoid these beginner level mistakes. Please consider subscribing if you found this content helpful, and feel free to check out this video on how to write professional emails at work. In the meantime though, have a great one.